Alright guys, this week is the flats and hand washing challenge, and while I'm not participating because I'm on bed rest, I have some great content I want to share with you. Receiving blankets! Have you ever tried a receiving blanket in your cloth diaper? Probably not. You might not have ever thought about it. Receiving blankets are a great, easy, cheap, and affordable way to cloth diaper. Cheap? I know they're expensive to buy new, but a lot of people are always looking to get rid of them because people get given thousands, not thousands, a couple dozen receiving blankets with every baby. Surprisingly enough, I never received any receiving blankets for my kids, so I went out and bought these. I actually bought them online. I got 10 for $10, so $1 each. Well, it's probably a little expensive, but it does the job. So take a look for these secondhand if you don't already have a massive stash in your closet. Sometimes you can find them at like the Sally Ann or thrift stores for a quarter, 50 cents to $1. Sometimes you can just ask anybody have any old receiving blankets, and people are probably willing to give them off your hands. Lately I learned that receiving blankets can be made out of different materials, and the ones that I have here today, they're all 100% cotton. Receiving blankets are a great insert. They are something that you can put inside your pocket. They're something you can put in a cloth diaper cover. There's something you can fold onto a baby, and there's something that has an incredible amount of absorbency. So the week that I'm posting this video is the Flats and Hand Washing Challenge. The Flats and Hand Washing Challenge is a weekly challenge once a year to talk about flat diapers, diaper need, and some great ways to cloth diaper that aren't necessarily so mainstream, that kind of help answer the, but I don't have a washing machine, but I can't afford it. But this. One of the buts to I can't afford a cloth diaper is a receiving blanket, because I got 10 of these for $10, so that's a full day and a half of diapers. Buy a couple used covers. Even if you bought cheapy covers, $5 each, you bought 5 or 6, say you bought 4 or 5, that's probably a better number. $25 for $5 each. You spent $35 on a stash. And a stash that can be hand washed. If you have a washing machine, flats wash up so easy. They are very forgiving. They don't need the crazy wash routine cycles that maybe a synthetic thick diaper needs, and they dry fast. Flats do take a little more work in that you need to fold them, but simple. This is the Cloth Diaper Podcast. The Cloth Diaper Podcast is a channel dedicated to everything cloth diaper. We talk basics, and we also talk about the other things, the things that maybe people should be talking about, but maybe only talk about in secret, private spaces. So subscribe to this channel if you want to know more about cloth diapering, and like this video if you love the idea of repurposing products. I love this idea, and truthfully, with my toddler, receiving blankets were actually a major part of my stash for a while, because my first kid was a heavy wetter. He wasn't a super soaker to the extent that I had to go out and buy extremely expensive fitted diapers and he was bursting through disposables, but he was occasionally bursting through disposables, maxing out fitteds, and these were a really great daytime option. The thing about receiving blankets is they do come in all sorts of sizes and shapes, and so I'm not like... This one is probably my favorite one because it's a good small size and it's also pretty thin. However, some of them, like this one, are really big. See? That one's massive. It's massive. You have one that's this big, your child doesn't... This one, I believe, holds like 12 or 14 ounces. That's almost 2 or 3 microfiber inserts without the compression. So this one is huge. If you don't need 12 ounces absorbency or your baby is smaller, go ahead and cut it in half. Just do it. Because like this, why I say that is like if you don't need this full 12 ounces of absorbency in your flannel receiving blanket, your diaper is going to be... It's quite thick and it can be quite bulky, and that's probably the biggest downside with using a flannel receiving blanket is how thick and bulky they are. They just aren't like incredibly trim like say this Dasana we looked at or this Baby Kicks hemp insert that we're looking at. It's not super trim because it is cotton and it is a big product, but it is a great product to repurpose. So how do you use these? Well, you take your big sheet, like this, and you just fold it. I mean, there's not a lot of rules for pad folding. The goal is to get that big sheet into the size of an insert. If you have a small child, you'll probably want to try to get it down to like this size. And if you have a big child, you'll want to get it down to this size. And so sometimes, like if you wanted it on a small child, I would probably fold it in thirds. And then maybe in thirds again. And then maybe in half. So now, see, it's about the same size. You're just gonna kind of fold it and experiment. There's no right or wrong ways to fold. So if you're anxious that you're folding your diaper wrong, stop. You're not. So sometimes I like to figure out like what my width is. So if you have an insert or microfiber around, so you can say, oh, look, that's the width that I need. And then fold it up. And there you go. So you've got it. This is a little thick and bulky, so I might actually... Don't be afraid to cut them if you need something smaller, and you can always go bum some more off people. I say that like people have access to these things, so maybe you don't. But in my local buy and sell community, these go up for sale a lot for pretty cheap. They're even going cheaper now. Like I saw 8 for $5 the other day. That's why I'm like, just if when you need more absorbency, you can get more. You can also fold these and put them onto a baby. There are a lot of different flat folds out there on the internet, so you could just find whichever one you want. Folding them and then putting them on a child is a great way to reduce your overall bulk. It also, if you have a heavy wetter overnight who needs more than one of these, if you lay 2 of them together and then fold them together, is a great way to get lower bulk with all the absorbency you need. So you can fold them. And sometimes a snappy will hold. Truthfully, what I would do is fold it up like this. Then I would go get your cover. And I would put the cover on so fast that it didn't have room to fall off. And if your cover is a nice tight fitting cover, it might wiggle around a little bit, but not a lot. I do find diaper pins are best for flats and for receiving blanket holding together. The best way to get a diaper pin to work is to run it through your hair and pick up the natural oils, or stick it in a bar of soap and then it will jab through a lot easier. I do find that a snappy works, but not always. And I haven't had any luck with the Boingos. I don't feel like they've got enough teeth, but maybe I'm doing it wrong. I might have luck. When it comes to the absorbency of these things can really vary. The smaller ones, like these ones, typically hold 8 to 10 ounces, while the really big ones can hold 12 to 14 ounces. If you're curious about how much liquid your absorbency blanket has, feel free to go get a measuring cup, fill it with water, pour it over, and when it stops absorbing or when it looks fully saturated, that's about your number. It's a great simple way to see how what you've got in your hand works. If your product is 100% cotton, you can use it right against baby skin. I had got the question the other day, well, mine are micro terry or microfiber receiving blankets, and I don't really know how to answer that question. So maybe somebody listening today can answer that. My gut kind of says no, because we say microfiber can't go against the skin, so why would a microfiber blanket? I feel like it might be very drying. You probably could just add a fleece liner. But I'm not the expert, and I haven't really been able to find any cohesive information about that online. So how about washing these? Washing these is super simple. Shake out your solids, rinse out your pee, and wash them. Arguably, you could easily get away with a super quick, easy rinse cycle in your machine, followed by a nice long hot cycle. Then you can hang them to dry, or you can toss them in the dryer. They are really easy and really forgiving to get clean. If you have any more questions about receiving blankets for cloth diapers, drop me a comment below. I think this is a great economical way to cloth diaper. It is honestly something that I've done for a long time, because I found these were more absorbent than a lot of the inserts and pre-folds that I had, and they've really worked well for my toddler. Though while they look really bulky in my hand, if you are cloth diapering a larger child right now already and you've maxed out your absorbency, they are a lot trimmer on bigger bodies.